This is an It's Your Break production, so sit back and take a break. Hey, you there. Come on, take a break with us. So, what's in store for this break? Let's find out together, here on It's Your Break. Welcome to It's Your Break. Hi, I'm Jonathan Mertz. Have you ever actually wondered what goes on behind the scenes at a salon? And what's inside of the minds of each of the hairdressers, hairstylists, cosmetologists? Well, you're about to find out in this full-length interview with the ladies at Hair Flair. It's our bonus episode where you get to hear it in its entirety. So sit back, relax, and enjoy right after this. It's Your Break will return right after this.
Every year, millions of people travel to the Great Smoky Mountains, Pigeon Forge, and Gatlinburg to get engaged, to have their wedding, honeymoon, or even vacation. Wouldn't it be nice to commemorate these memories with real professional photos? Mountain Escape Photography can capture your family vacation, wedding, or engagement while using the Great Smoky Mountains as a backdrop. We're a Great Smoky Mountains National Park approved vendor, so we can shoot anywhere inside of the park. To see some of our work or to book your session, go to mountainescapephotography.com.
And now, back to It's Your Break. Welcome to It's Your Break. I am Jonathan Mertz, and we are in the middle of a live environment where we're in the middle of Hair Flair Salon. This is kind of an interesting setup for me because I've never been in a real live environment where we're going to have so much noise in the background because usually I'm in a studio. But Amanda Tipton is joining us. Brooke Hammond is also joining us at the moment. And we'll have some other people over there. I think Tiffany Redmond is going to be maybe popping in and out. And, of course, Crystal Mattingly, who is also going to be popping in and out in a second. But thank you all so much for letting me kind of barge in and have you all here, by the way. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So one of the things that we want to go over is just kind of give it a quick behind the scenes of who you are first. Kind of let people know who you are, what your expertise is, and then we're going to go into maybe some storytelling of how things that may have happened to lead you to your path, and maybe even find out some things that you thought were hysterical in your career. We don't want to embarrass you. We don't want to make you look bad, but we do want to have fun. So, are you?
Well, Brooke, go ahead.
We'll start with Brooke. So what positioned you to kind of migrate into your career?
I really liked doing hair, and I knew I probably needed to be my own boss. I didn't really like being told what to do. I wanted to go into something where I could control my schedule, and I like doing hair, so it seemed like the perfect fit. So basically, just because you want to be the person in charge and not being told what to do. Sounds like correct.
Sounds like your childhood.
Well, I knew that I wanted children, and I wanted to be at their school functions and field trips, and I have the ability to schedule when I work, and I don't have to ask off or have so many days, and that was a big plus too. That is a good flexibility when you're your own boss and your own business person. But you also have sometimes need to make the numbers. Oh, yeah. I mean, you definitely have to be disciplined. You have to, there's nights and weekends regardless. And when you're off this day to go to this ball game or what have you, you have to compensate for that and be here maybe when you didn't want to be here. I mean, because the bills still come. Right. So what type of training is involved in this type of job?
It's changed. It's now, I think, it's 1,500 hours, and it's what do you call it?
Cosmetology school. When we were
Trade
going,
school,
it was
right.
Mm-hmm. When we were going, it was 1,800 hours. So they have dropped it, which I don't necessarily think is a good thing
at all.
So when you guys get a new, I guess, hairdresser, how do you guys prefer to address yourselves now? As a hairdresser, hair stylist, what do you all prefer to call yourselves? HBIC?
Yeah.
I always say
that's it. HBIC. That's my favorite.
Cosmetologist, but I say I'm a PhD. I'm a professional hairdresser. It just sounds good.
It does sound good.
Tiffany has her title. It's just I'm the boss. So that's what her title is.
That's
here.
Hilarious.
And I'm just the receptionist. I just work here usually.
So How does this work in this environment? You have so many people. Are they employees? Are they contractors? Or are
They're
they...
independent contractors. So each of the stylists rent their booth, basically. We supply them with shampoo, conditioner, the building, utilities, but they supply everything at their station, their color, and everything they need to actually do their client's hair.
So when you guys go into a facility, because a lot of y'all been together for a very long time, and some of them came into
It's a bad
to the
marriage
fold,
we've gotten
fold
into.
later to fold and come into the later fold. So how does this work when you have independent contractors who ultimately reports? There's got to be somebody that oversees, the building, the contracts for the building.
Yeah, that's Tiffany and I. Yay!
Well, that's fun.
We're the co-owners.
Okay.
We own the business of Hair Flair.
Gotcha. And everybody else is just an associate that
Yes.
kind of helps build the product,
Yes,
even though they're their own boss. That's kind of an interesting thing because
Yeah.
you don't see that very often.
you really don't. And it confuses a lot of people, especially when it comes to taxes and paying for things. People are like, well,
We have to get an independent contractor's license
they have a separate license.
Okay.
along with a cosmetology license because I'm responsible for what goes on in that booth.
Now, is that through the state and the counties, or is that
That's through the state.
They're both state.
Yeah.
okay? Because I didn't know if you also had to get a business license within the
The
cities and
salon
counties.
has to have a business license, and the salon pays like a city tax outside of our normal, like they do like a 1099 tax. The business has to claim a separate tax.
Right. So, as you hear, there's stuff going on in the background, but that's okay. This is a live environment. We want everything to hear how what's going on.
We're loud.
And actually, we're recording this too on video. So this is one of the first times we've actually done video. And when you come to a salon, you come in a lot of cases as a client to get away, to make things new, to make yourself feel good, to make yourself relax in certain aspects. What did you have to learn through your steps to kind of make your clients just feel comfortable when they come in the door, when they're your very first customer coming in? I mean, what do you have to do to make them comfortable when they don't know who you are?
I think we're good at we're all pretty down to earth, maybe a little too much for some people, but I think we're just real. Just be real, and people are usually most receptive to that.
Right.
People skills, they're hard to teach. Some people have them, some people don't. I think anything where you're in a service industry, you just have to have people skills. You have to be able to talk to people. And
so being relatable is a big skill. Of course, when I used to come here quite a bit, of course, the hair is kind of all thin, and that's the reason I'm wearing a cap.
people still come for entertainment, even if the hair's thinning.
We can buff and wax, Jonathan.
And when I started going with Brooke, she was at a different hair salon at the time.
Yeah.
And followed her over here. But that is one of the things that drew me when I found out that she was cutting hair, is because I've known her. I grew up with her,
Right.
So I knew exactly where
You
she
felt
was.
relaxed
I knew
with-
where she worked previously and had to run into her down at Cooks and things like that in Eminence. But, it is what it is. You go sometimes to your friends, but sometimes those people, from what I understand, can be the worst customers.
Yes, family likes a free day. They don't really always appreciate the fact that it's that's how you get paid. We don't get a check at the end of the week.
Your 5-year-old kid, you got to make them pull their weight.
Right, absolutely.
Chores at home.
Right. They are the worst clients. Brooke fired her son recently, so he's not.
My youngest one, I gave him away.
And Tiffany's fired her. I think we're just rotating our kids around, so none of us have to cut our own kids' hair.
Well, that's always the thing too. Is like when you're dealing with your parents, and like when I was growing up and doing sports, I always hated my dad as the coach. I never wanted to be on a team with my dad, because it was always the hardest to work as a coach's son. I really think that. Because they're a little more tough. They expect more out of you. They want you to be able to perform at your best, but they're going to be tougher on you. And sometimes they have to be tougher on you so you don't get support. It seems like,
Right.
oh, you're being the favorite. But when it comes to that, and how do you deal with those situations when they arise, when you have family members that just want to mooch off of you?
I let Tiffany handle it because she's the boss. I just refer them to her.
She hires, fires, and takes care of all the problems.
That's hilarious.
They're
So
very specific roles. If you have a complaint, then you voice it to Tiffany. And if you need me to write you a check, just tell me. Those are our roles, basically, in
hilarious.
business.
is this a job that you look forward to coming to work every week at, or is it something that just becomes humdrum after a while?
No,
I love
think
my job.
I was gonna say I love coming. Well, I miss all the girls, and then we all have to catch up on Tuesdays and see what's happened over the weekend. It's a lot to go on in one building.
It is a lot to go on. One of the things too is that, you know, with your all's social media presence, you guys going out everywhere. You see over the summers and the festivals that you guys will go to. I mean, the horse show up here is a big thing that you all used to do together quite a bit. I mean, so that camaraderie is a good thing, and you don't see that with many businesses either.
It's hard. I think it's harder even in salons than any other business. It's a group of women in a small space, and everybody has to get along. So we're really lucky.
We're going to change paces a little bit here. So, what has probably been one of the weirdest haircuts you've ever given?
Oh gosh, you know who? Go ahead.
And here's the thing: you can change names so you don't get yourself in trouble.
No, I'm not even saying a name. It's
Yeah.
just, it's a permed mullet.
A permed mullet.
Yeah. And in the 2020, you just don't think you're going to do a permed mullet on a female.
So it happened this year?
She told the lady, it's repeating customers. She tells the lady
wow.
that's what it is. And she tells her she doesn't want it, and she tells her what it's called, and she still requests it.
Wow.
She loves the permed mullet. It's not one I'm proud of, but you know,
But
it's
if you're
what
gonna pay me money, I'm gonna
Well,
do it.
what
and Tiffany
she
threatened her
wants.
she's like, when you walk outside this door, don't tell anybody you got that done. it's one of those.
That is very.
We love
interesting.
her just the same. That's just how she wants her hair, and if that's how you want it, that's how I'm going to do it. So
When you have obscure requests like that, you guys do some consultation apparently.
yes, I'm
And
more
say-
indirect, and I'm just like, I don't know if that's a good look for you. And Tiffany's like, that's a mullet.
Yeah. Well, because that's the thing. You always hear these stories, and that's one of the reasons my wife left her last hair salon, and it's actually with Brooke now, is because she didn't like the experiences she kept getting. This seemed like the quality always changed, and even when they tried something new, it didn't quite fit. They didn't give that consultation, say, hey, do
Yes.
you think this is going to be right for your head shape? Do you think this is going to be...
Consultation is important. Everybody's idea of what something is different. If you have a teenager come in, I'm cutting all my hair off today, and they want it to their shoulders. All your hair cut off, what I think, is super short, kind of like Tiffany wears her hair.
Right.
Short to them is shoulder length because they're little teeny bopper teenagers, and everybody's got hair down halfway down their back.
We
So
usually like that. It's the same with cutting like lumber. If it's measured twice and cut once or whatever the saying is, ask them twice before you cut it.
and pictures are good. I love a picture because that shows me exactly what you think that is.
Shoulder length and shorter length sound a lot the same. So
They do. They
Note
really do.
to self.
You know, it can be a matter of like 6 inches, 2 inches, depending on where it lays. So
Right.
very, very interesting. When you get into these situations and you find something that's just not going to be feasible for somebody. So they say they want this hairstyle and they walk out. But the problem is they're not going to be able to recreate that hairstyle on their at home, even though you cut it to the length, you styled it here, and they want to be able to keep it. How do you transition from that to the customer? How do you tell them that when you go home and you wash this out, it's not going to be the same anymore?
I was going to say, we say that all the time. People will say, I want to just wash and go. And everybody loves our hair. And they're like, cut my hair like yours. I want it to be easy. And I'm like, I don't just wash this and go, or I'd look like poo. So you don't want to see us on a wash and go day.
Sometimes
either.
we come in here and fix our hair of a morning.
Right.
And we laugh when we hit the front door. I'm like, can somebody take my picture so when somebody says, hey, I want to wash it and just go. we'll show them what that really looks like, because that's not what happened here.
But you
Right.
you do have to almost teach your client.
Yeah.
You almost have to teach them
Come
how
here,
to
Crystal.
style it. Like, okay, we cut your hair like this, but now you'll have to round brush it, or you'll have to, if you're not able to round brush it, then you'll have to use a curling iron.
I try to show my clients too as I'm drawing. This is what I'm doing.
Right.
And of course, we get the same thing. Oh, well, it's easier for you. You're behind, and it is. I mean, standing behind somebody with two hands is a whole lot easier than trying to reach up at a different angle and do
Right.
it yourself. But I just tell people, this is the concept of it. Now you've got to get in there and figure out, how it feels right to you. But I try to show them so that they can recreate that, because word of mouth is our biggest advertising.
Right.
When somebody sees you at Kroger, Walmart, ball game, hey, I like your hair. What do you use on it? Who does it? We can spend money on advertising all day long, but most of the people in our chair have either seen a picture on Facebook, or they've seen someone out. They personally know somebody, they liked it, they found out who did their hair, then they come in. So we want them to be able to
Style it
fix
and look
what we
nice.
do.
Right.
Besides the day that they're here.
Right.
Other than that day. But if you can't, just come back. I'll style it again.
There you go.
For $22, we'll wash and fix that
There
again.
you go. So, something to think about too is maybe down the road, why not do videos showing how to do certain styles when you have that wash and go cut?
Right.
Do something simple to really make your hair look straight, look full, curly. Depending on what you're doing. I know that with living with my wife, there are many products that she goes through.
Right.
And one of them is the straightener that and some people use it as a multi-tool.
Yes.
And and plus it has variable temperatures. So, is there any key points that when people are using those tools
Yes.
to really make sure that they do?
So many people get it too hot.
Not all hair texture can be baked like cookies.
Right.
And that
Some
thing
of
goes up
those-
to 400 degrees. And these people I have very fine hair. If I were to take 400 degrees and run that through my hair, it's coming off. And people don't realize that.
Really.
I mean, we tell them, but, they want to crank it up because,
Yeah, I wish that was my excuse. So.
Well, our whole thing is, the more the merrier, the hotter the better.
Yeah, it's not always the case.
Yeah. So we try to educate people on, that really thick, coarse, curly hair can handle that 400. But you don't ever need to be over 300, And,
Right.
and so we try to educate them on that too, because especially our young girls.
They're really just kind of just going hot and heavy.
Yeah. Just get in there and get it done.
And do you all find that people have had these mishaps that you've had to correct from trying stuff off YouTube that wasn't properly done?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, YouTube and Pinterest tutorials, and it's really different with hair because every client's hair is different. I mean, no two people have the same exact hair. They really
Right.
don't. So everybody's hairstyle is a little different. And I mean, honestly, when we do your hair the first time, we're just kind of getting used to it and figuring out where all your, how it lays, and if you brush it this way, it'll fall that way. So it's really, it's not easy to watch a tutorial or a video and say, I'm going to do that to my hair, because your hair may be completely different than the person in the video. So
That's interesting. So, getting back to something I mentioned early on, one of the places to go to kind of vent, to get away, is the salon. When you have customers come in and you sit down, how do the stories relate to how you do your work? Because, I mean, if they come in and they tell you about this terrible death in their family, and it's just a sad sob story, and you're sitting there crying with them, how do you deal with that?
Sometimes you cry with them.
it's hard. I mean, I feel like we counsel people when they're sad, but we enjoy their life when they tell us about, I mean, we grow up with people's families, basically. It's like some people, we started cutting their hair when they were kids, and now they're, getting married, and we're doing their hair for weddings. And So
Makes you feel so old. When the kid you sit on the booster goes, can you do my wedding? I'm like, your wedding? Aren't you 10?
and sometimes we have to hold things in until they leave, and then we kind of fall apart on each other. Like, I can't believe this one's sick, and then you have, like, I have a few older ladies that just come in, and they really don't need their hair done. They just need somebody to talk to, like you're saying. And you end up really just, they're buying time from you. You're barely trimming their hair, but they need 30 minutes to an hour for you to talk to them.
I have one lady that comes every week, and she looked at me one day and she said, "You're the only place I go."
Yeah.
I was like, "You don't go anywhere?" She's like, "No." She said, "My son gets my groceries. I can't go to church anymore because she has trouble sitting in the pews, and I'm all she has all week." It's kind of sad.
Wow.
I mean,
It's going to be the funnest, most entertaining for her when she's here, though.
oh, she is a hoot.
Why are you
But-
staring at the camera?
Come on over, Tiffany.
The boss.
This is the mean boss.
Yeah, I see. She's nosing around
She
over there.
is.
She's
Yeah, she
kind of
is.
seeing how everything walks in and how everything gets done.
She's going to be your cameraman. That's what
That's
she's
all right, she can
practicing
do that.
for.
Listen, I can't quit coughing, so.
We can walk on it, so we can make it happen. So
All right.
so you're fine. But Tiffany just joined in, and so thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So you're loud.
Oh, well, yeah.
I had to turn her down. I was like, "What? She blow my ears
She's
out."
the complaint department. She's used to yelling at people.
And if anybody's
Listen,
wondering
I
why,
have a microphone voice.
right?
She is
I've been
the boss.
told that.
That's what she says.
Yeah.
She wants to be heard.
If anybody's wondering, well, if they're actually watching the video, if the video actually comes out, that's the other thing. If it doesn't look that great, we're not going to release the video. But
Thank God.
why I'm wearing headphones and nobody else is because I'm monitoring the sound of the mics. So that's I want to make sure everything is.
I thought you were
is
making
all
a
For
good.
fashion
anyone out there
statement.
that has
Oh my God, you're so loud.
some kind of connection, we're looking for a reality TV show.
We
so
are not.
send them our way.
Tiffany.
You can call it Salon Confessions.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
everybody would shut up.
I was going to say, if we were
How does that go with
your-
what happens
your
at Hair
customers-
Flair stays at Hair Flair?
well, your customers come in, their face will be augmented, and you would have this weird voice happening. Like, blah, 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 blah.
Voice changer.
Yeah. So you look
Everybody's
at
blurred out.
Tiffany, and her voice is. So yeah, I can see that happening. So how did you get started in hair?
Doing hair?
Yeah, how did you get started?
Oh, well, I grew up in a salon. My mom was actually a hairdresser, so it's all I've ever known. I knew I was going to do hair at 8 years old.
So that ammonia smell just like thrills you.
Ammonia thioglycolate's my favorite.
That's why she's next to Brooke. She can see
Yeah.
perms for days.
Yeah, it's my absolute favorite.
That's hilarious. When you got into this and you watched your mom, did she start teaching you at a young age on what to do and how to do things?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Of course, a lot has changed now. They learned old school way. We learned new school way, but
No, we're about to graduate into the old school.
yeah, yeah.
what's
Our
happening.
clients are all getting older, so we're going back the old school. But no, she did. She taught me how to cut hair really young. She taught me how to hold a pair of shears really young, and I think that did help me going into hair school. I had a little bit of edge on everybody else. So
That's really interesting. I was wondering about that because I was like, that was going to be one of my questions. Did anybody ever have any pre-experience within their family about that?
Oh, I mean, I did my friend's hair, but I didn't know what I was doing.
Oh, I mean, the guys down the road, across the street from us, the Dixies and stuff, man, they used to fade our hair all the
Yeah.
time and everything
Yeah.
else. I mean,
For $10 a head.
Yeah, I mean,
I played with my own hair, and then I attempted to let Tiffany play with mine sometimes. And I didn't really practice on anybody else. I cried a lot in hair school because I couldn't part hair right, and I couldn't curl hair right. And
she hid from some clients in hair school. Amanda and I went to hair school together.
I was going to ask that because
We
y'all were
did.
talking about that.
it is hard to do hair and be a perfectionist, and it took me a minute to realize every hair doesn't always have its place. Sometimes it's okay to be a little messy.
Now, did y'all grow up together too, or did y'all like?
We did.
Did you?
We actually met in the 7th grade, and we become best friends the year after. and
We didn't like each other at first.
no, she didn't like me at all because I had all my straight teeth and I was
That's
dressed
hilarious.
real cute.
She said that like I have horrible teeth.
Smile for the camera, Mandy. Your teeth look good.
That's hilarious.
And then, long story short, I married her brother.
That's interesting.
That's a really
She
long,
left out she was a bratty cheerleader.
Yes.
really long story short.
Yes.
There.
Yeah.
Fast forward.
So where did y'all actually grow up?
Spencer County.
Spencer County. Okay, I didn't know if where y'all were at. So
Yeah.
that explains a lot.
Big
Yeah.
town.
Hey, Spencer County used to egg our buses every.
We're big.
freaking-
Listen, what's that
Every
show we were
basketball
on
game.
for egging?
I grew up in Mount Eden. Tiffany lived there just
Briefly.
a minute. But it's the egg throwing capital of the world.
Yes.
On Hee Haw.
Hee Haw. That's the show we were on. Yes.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Now,
Mini
we
Pearl.
weren't on it.
Mini Pearl.
I was going to say, did y'all get out there and jam with Buck
No,
Owens,
we
Roy
weren't
Clark?
on Hee Haw. But Mount Eden, that's probably the only thing it's ever been famous for.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Although there is a phenomenal butcher shop in Spencer County. over
There
in
is.
Taylorsville. That's awesome.
Yes. There's more in Spencer County, or in the county, but Mount Eden as a whole was pretty. They had one gas station and it blew up, so I think it's been pretty much closed down since that. It's gone.
That's hilarious. So when you have clients come in and they sit down in your chair, what do you do to prepare yourself
We're
to get
all
ready
out of
for them?
breath.
What do I do to prepare myself?
Yeah.
Not much. But I did hear your conversation with these two, and I'm not like them. As far as if they come in and show me a picture and I think, number one, it looks stupid, I tell them.
I said you were really blunt.
We're just
about
nice
it.
about it.
Well, I'm not. And I just tell people, listen, you're not going to fix it like this,
Right.
or you have 3 hairs on your head, and it's never going to look this good.
Listen,
So,
she's a lot like a lady that I used to work for, and you'll know who it is. But she told a lady one time, she's like, your hair's not the problem. It's the rest of you don't like. And I knew then
Oh, that's hilarious.
I was going to have to get nicer about how I tell people because it made me home. I was like, oh, she just said that.
That's hilarious.
That just
Well.
means Tiffany has some of the best clients ever because she.
They keep coming back. They like her.
Anybody that may be a little bit difficult, they're just not going to get along
Well,
from
the
the
other
start.
part of that too could be too that they're too afraid to leave. That she thought they think maybe she might hunt them, hunt them down.
Yes.
Yes, that might be it.
but I will say that some of my
That face.
clients
Yes.
are family. So, and there are a lot that have been with me for 10, 15, 20 years that I go to weddings and funerals, and I know where a lot of them live.
Right.
And we're family, and I appreciate them every day. So.
That's awesome. That's good. I'm
And most of them appreciate my honesty.
They appreciate you being honest. They sure do.
Hey, Shug.
And Crystal finally got her hair ready.
I know. I'm sorry.
I want you to leave it so you can show people the.
It's color.
was gonna.
Color her friend's hair day.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. But Crystal Mattingly also joined. When did you get into hair?
Oh my gosh, can you remember back that far?
Don't ask her. How did you start?
Fight. Oh.
I guess we should say who's the eldest here, right?
That would be me.
Sugar.
I went to hair school right out of high school, which was like 1996 when I graduated hair school.
That's hilarious.
No, I knew I wanted to do hair. I don't know. I like the creativeness of it. I love to be around people. You know, I got most humorous in my class, so I'm like Brooke. I can't work somewhere where it's gonna have to be. I don't need a whole lot of rules. I need
Right.
to be able to
I'd have been fired
So
from regular
basically,
jobs.
the black sheep and the rebels have come to work with us. They're like, hey, we don't want any bosses. We're gonna work at Hair Flair.
Or they can't keep it. Can't keep a job, right?
That is why Amanda and Tiffany opened up their own salon.
Well, this is true.
Yeah, I kept getting us fired. So it was just best.
So here's the thing, too, and I want to pull this out because a lot of people will go to many different places to get their hair cut. And I'm not going to say any big chain store that's out there, but what is the difference when you go to somewhere that just clips your hair and doesn't give you that personal attention? And if you try to get something there, it's usually not as high quality as I've seen from other salons. How do y'all compete with some of those stores?
That it's not a competition.
It's not even a competition.
No. We fix their haircuts a lot.
Hey, be honest. Why not?
You know, my theory on why those places are not always the best.
It's quantity over quality.
Well, I think they have some good hairdressers. I really do. But I think they work them so hard and pay them
So little.
not well
Right.
that once they build that relationship with their clients and they are good, I feel like they go somewhere else because I feel like they are worked so hard, just haircut after haircut after haircut, and they're not being paid the way they could be paid if they were an independent contractor. So I think the good ones a lot of times leave.
Right.
But the big companies don't care about individual people. I mean, they do care about people.
It's
in
a
general,
number.
But
How many people can you get in and get out?
We want
Same
you to
with
do
their-
10 haircuts, not 5.
I was
Right.
saying, and
So-
same with their products, whatever they have in their color lines or whatever. They're not looking for what's best for you long term because you probably are going to go somewhere else next time. It's just what's cheap that I can sell you or put on you today.
And I find out a lot of cases they're really geared towards men more so than women in most cases because
That
I mean
goes
it is
back to the speed.
the quick in and out but what I find out and which I wish I'm going to tell some of the guys I have a better experience here than I've ever had at a barbershop or even one of those quick clip places. Yes. I really have.
Well, but men a lot of times end up there because they don't like to make appointments.
That's exactly right. That was going to be the next thing I was going to bring up.
Yeah.
It's
But
convenient.
That's why you see more men there than women.
You do end up waiting usually a long time
Yes.
for your haircut. It's like you can't make an appointment, but sometimes you might sit 2 hours.
Right.
I'm like, come on, guys, give us a call and see. Because
Right.
sometimes we can, if you call, we might have something that day. And then,
Right. Or
sometimes
squeeze,
we might.
just
Right.
squeeze you in between appointments, especially if it's something quick and easy.
Right.
A lot of times guys don't like to come to a salon. Their fear is that they're going to be surrounded by stronger
Us.
women.
Right. You got to be comfortable, and that's the biggest thing. And
We try to make everybody comfortable.
Right.
And I think we do a good job.
We have so many people that say, I'm just going to come sit here.
We do have a lot.
Like, they don't
of
even need an
male
appointment. We're just going to
clients,
come.
too.
This is
So
fun.
you actually have people that just like come out and lounge and not even get a haircut.
They say they want to.
Yes.
Right.
They're always like, I'm just coming in here to sit. Y'all are funny. You
We're
make me
everybody's
laugh.
retirement plan. Can I volunteer? I'm like, shoot, we need volunteers.
But if you think about it, women don't have time. Mothers don't have the time to go do things for themselves.
Right.
So if they come and get a haircut,
It's planned.
it's planned and they're coming and they're sitting, and it may be the only time that they have to sit down in that day.
Mm-hmm.
It may be the only time they have to themselves. And these people, I mean, I've been doing hair for 25 years. These
Right.
people become your friends. They become your family. Like, it's crazy how much any of these girls in
like
here,
You're
we're
there
all
for their
family.
I was
entire,
gonna
like
say,
the birth
your
of their
whole
children.
life,
Yeah.
You watch
Right.
these people grow up. And
My
I
customers
mean, it's like
get on and on.
Nathan.
My kids.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's.
I mean, I've cut Nathan's, and every time he just keeps getting tall. I'm like,
Taller.
whoa,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
it is a thing. Like I said, this is the place that everybody comes to vent. Everybody comes to relate. Catch up on the latest gossip because we know you all are connected because you get all this revolving door.
Yeah, it's first.
That's the biggest thing. You have the
If
revolving
Hair
doors.
Flair doesn't know it, it hasn't happened yet.
That's hilarious. Because I mean, even before I came to Hair Flair with Brooke, it was at different places with her and Crystal. We heard things in and out. I mean, we were already connected within the family, because she's not only connected, did my family, but even kind of my extended family, and went through there. And we say, how such and such, how are they doing? How's your mom and dad doing? And it gets into this whole big, huge relationship.
Right. It
And
is.
people don't realize that that's what you really need. You need this type of relationship that somebody's going to take care of you. It's like a doctor. If a doctor comes in and just sees you and pushes you back out,
Right.
you're like, what do you do for me?
Right.
When you get those good doctors that really ask you, how's your day? How you
They're
been?
worried about your future of
because
your
a lot of
health.
times, if you don't realize it, is sometimes when doctors ask you those questions and get personal, you actually give them more information than just tell them what's wrong with you.
Well, and I think another reason why people like to come in here is because we're all real. I know I'm the most blunt, but we're all real, and we tell our own lives and what's going on with our kids and our husbands.
Bless your hearts,
and our
'cause you never know
our
what's
families.
happening.
And I feel like that's people are like, oh, I don't feel so bad about myself now. They're they're going
Right.
through the same thing, or they I've been through that before, and we can all relate, to each other with our clients. So I think that helps too.
So I want to transition and actually get back into some storytelling. We did a little bit with Brooke and them. And again, I'm going to leave it up to you. If you want to say somebody's name, it's you. If you're like, oh, I didn't really want to say it, we can bleep it out later. If it's
Okay.
easier for you to tell it that way with the person's name, then we can say it that way too.
You to tell.
So we're going to get into some of these because people don't get to see this side and learn the struggles that you have to go through as a hairdresser sometimes. And then, and also kind of, just obscure things that just happen. You make you go, huh? What the heck is going on? Because you guys, a lot like doctors, get to deal with things that just, are just crazy. I mean, of course, obviously, you get the kid with
And I would
the
say some
bubble gum
people
in their
are just
hair,
crazy.
Right.
But
You never know when you're going to have a crazy person.
You really don't.
They don't usually turn out to be regular clients because they kind of come in and they tell all their secrets and they run. You don't ever see them again.
went back in witness protection. You weren't
Yes.
supposed to say that.
Yeah, exactly.
So can I just start out saying that not in every profession is it okay to touch people's hair.
Right.
So
You just come out, some stranger, start running your hand,
If you're
running your.
if you work at the bank, it's not okay to touch people's hair.
You're going to talk about the time when you fixed my hair in public
No,
and people were looking at
I'm
us.
I had an elderly man come in, and he sat and waited his turn, and this was years ago, like years and years ago. And he
She's already
sat
laughing.
down in my chair, and I'm trying to think of the way I worded it. I said, we just gonna even you up, or something. I don't know how I worded it. And he said, yeah. So I proceed to kind of run my hands through his hair, see how long it is and stuff, and I put the cape on him, and I'm like, well, how much do you want to take off? And he said, I think I'm in the wrong place. I was trying to get my eyeglasses adjusted, which was next door. So I don't know what he was thinking. He never stopped me from running my fingers through his hair, but I don't know what was going through his head when I first sat him down.
He was
That's
like,
hilarious.
this lady is really okay about the personal touch.
So after the fact, I felt so dumb. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've run my fingers through his hair.
He thought he was getting his eye.
I'll tell you what, his wife was probably really annoyed with him that night. 'Cause he probably went home, popped a couple blue pills.
Did she come in with him? She's probably
No, he was by himself. Bless his heart. It was
I'm glad he made it there safe, though.
right.
You think he showed up next door? You think he went on and got his eyeglasses?
Yeah.
Did he come back and take a look at it?
I showed him where to go. It's like, oh my gosh.
Bless his heart.
And then as hairdressers too, we're always out in public, like Amanda said. Like I'm always, we could be eating dinner, and I'm like,
Yeah.
so we just look like a couple. Because that's not okay.
Right.
For normal friends, just
No.
to, your hair's
Yeah.
that looks
That's
good.
hilarious.
Yeah.
We
We're always
forget.
touching each other's hair.
We forget that it's not okay to do all the time.
Good thing you're not gynecologist, right?
Right. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Definitely not okay all the time.
I'm looking a little saggy.
I want Amanda to tell my favorite story.
Oh my God.
I have a male client that I roll a perm.
Oh, which one?
We have a lot of
Well,
male
my
perms.
first one.
Okay.
And when I was not in, I think I had surgery.
Oh, I remember now.
So I was off, and I referred him to the shops line so that somebody in here. That's another thing. When we're off, we want to keep people in the salon. We want to.
Yeah.
We've got each other's color cards. We know what we use, and we try to keep them in the salon.
Is anybody working here?
But Amanda, when he called, she's got to tell you the story because it's hilarious.
I was gonna say, I think somebody called for him and they
Yes.
said I need to get him in for his hair, but Brooke's out of town. And I said, okay, well, I'll put him down. And they were like, okay. And I'm like, what does he need? His perm? And she was like, a perm? And I think it was his wife. And she's like, no, he didn't get a perm. And I was like, oh.
He didn't want anybody to know.
Oh, okay. He'll probably wait for Brooke. Okay, whatever, and put him down. And I don't realize that really I just told on him. Nobody knew he got a perm. And so he came in and he's like, are you going to do my perm? And I'm like, oh, no. No, I can't do that. I mean, Brooke's, she's talented with the really short hair perms, and you're going to have to wait till she gets back in town. But, yeah, I told on him. He was like, oh, I just wait for my haircut then. He was going to wait and do it all at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. So when you say short hair perm, because this has got me thinking here,
Yeah.
how short of a hair is a short hair perm?
I mean,
About like
hers?
Tiffany's.
Okay.
It's short. I mean,
I think his might have me a
A
little bit.
longer in the back, but the top.
it's short.
Yeah.
Listen,
short.
she's skilled, and we do kid about it because literally I could not have permed his hair that day if I wanted to. I was like, I'd have finger cramps for 10 weeks trying to roll
No,
that
I
up.
can't. She's the perm specialist. If anybody calls for a perm that's new, I'm like, hang on, let me get Brooke. So, yeah, that's her specialty.
So when you were looking at people and they come in and they have these like situations with perms and they're normally not your customers and you refer it all, is there some people that you just say like don't you don't just want to deal with because of those situations? You have so many unique
There's
situations.
absolutely some people that only I can make happy.
Right.
There's some people that require a certain amount of attention. I have people that will sit in my chair and put their foot down and spin themselves to make sure that they're facing the mirror so that I am zoned into them and them only. They do not want me to have conversations with these girls while they're here. And I would never put those clients on these girls' books because I wouldn't want them to have to go through that.
That's really cool, so that you do cater to the individual person.
Yeah, you have to.
That
You
is
have to.
really interesting. Is there any stories that just overwhelm you sometimes with emotion, like in a happy sense? We'll start with there first. That when people come in and they tell you their story, and it's just one of those things that you can always bring up because it made such an impact on you.
As a woman, maybe as a male too, I don't know. But as a woman, I know for sure if something's going wrong in our life, if we've just got divorced, if something's happened, it's therapy to come and get your hair done. Like it's okay, I can't change anything in my life, but I can change my hair today.
Right.
Like I can make this change today and make myself feel better about
It's
myself.
control.
It's so to see somebody that's going through a divorce that has been
Feeling down
on themselves
Not
and been
look-
made to feel that way for years, come in and get highlights and get a cute cut, and for them to smile and like actually feel good about themselves, like just means the world probably to all of us because we've all been there.
confidence. We love to give confidence. Even in young girls, I see it a lot in younger girls too, that just they're quiet and reserved, and you give them a little something sassy and it comes out.
And you can tell, like they'll stand up and hug us and be
Right.
like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much for everything." Or some people cry.
It's the
you
most
know.
rewarding job, really. It is.
Is there anything like depressing about
Cancer.
this job? Yeah. Okay.
It's our
Yeah.
number. I was gonna say,
I've
just
had to go like shave a head at the
Yeah.
hospital.
illnesses.
That's hard.
It's hard for
It's
us
hard to lose the clients.
be positive in a time that's so hard on them. That's the hardest thing, I think, to be respectful in the fact that we still want them to know we care and that we're heartbroken, but we don't want them to be sad about what's happening either.
Right.
So they don't have to think about it when they're here.
That was probably the biggest thing I was going to think of too. Was cancer. But that's one of the most obvious things. Is there something that you've ever come through and like, I know something's going on, but I can't help? How do you all deal with those situations?
For me, and this is going to sound crazy, but I know she'll agree with me. It's when a small child comes in and they could potentially be autistic.
Right.
And maybe the parents haven't been told, but there's something about the feeling, and autistic children most of the time have some issues with touch.
Sensory.
The sensory and the clippers and everything that goes into a haircut is way too much for them. So for me, I think that's really sad, because then it goes into, okay, it's not my place to tell them.
Right.
And then usually within a few months we find out, oh yeah, they are autistic and they can't have their hair cut, or we have to go somewhere else,
Right.
So that's really a sad situation for me.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever dealt with anybody through domestic abuse and things that would come in and would have those issues?
Yeah, a lot. I have one client that is in a really bad situation, and like Amanda said, it's our job to make them feel happy while they're here and safe while they're here, and that's all we can do.
Right, because you can't pull them out of their situation always, but I understand that too. But people don't realize and don't see this side, and that's why
We
I'm
try to give
bringing this
them
up.
this much support. Any woman going through anything can come in here and feel supported, if nothing else. I
Yeah.
know, even in our own lives, going through. I've been through divorce just in the last couple years, and I think all of us have. You feel supported, like you're not alone. So everybody's dealt with a little bit of everything.
Do y'all lend helping hands from time to time to people, or what do
We'll
you?
happily drive the getaway van. Absolutely.
Yes,
We'll sing "Earl's Gotta Die." I
Yeah.
mean,
That's hilarious.
we got
I have a
concrete
playlist
shit.
for you.
Yes, a playlist for me.
I'd say something else that people don't realize that we do a lot of times is go to the funeral homes. And,
Oh, yeah.
if we have a client that we've been doing for years and they pass away, they usually have written down somewhere
That they
who
want
they
us-
want their hair done, and if,
that's
I
interesting.
have people that come, I have a lady that comes every week, and I know that I'll have to go do hers. Brooke and I usually,
You get that
we're
call.
funeral home
You've been left
partners.
in the wheel, and you're like, I have. They want you to do their hair. Okay.
Wow. See, I didn't know there was a
Well,
thing.
they want to look. Their family wants them to look the most like them. So,
Right.
and we usually style their hair the most like how they wear it. So,
And they usually have somebody on staff. Right. But I mean, they've come to us, like the one she's talking about that I did. I did her hair every Tuesday and Friday. So twice a week. So going in somewhere where nobody's seen you versus me that did her hair twice a week, obviously you want me to do it because at that point I can do it with my eyes closed.
Wow.
And so many people are like, ew, you all have to do that? And I'm like, that's the highest compliment. I mean, yes, they want me
be
or
the
us
last
to
person.
come and do the last, be the last time anybody sees them.
She said, I'll take it.
you get those, the never show ups and the like. I'll reschedule 28 times.
And people don't realize that when we mark that time out.
We tell somebody else no.
Right. So
Right.
we've marked that time out, and if you don't come, and in today's society, everybody's walking around with the phone in their hand. Just send that. Hey, I'm going to be late. Hey, I can't come. Text.
Right.
And then that allows me to, to take somebody in that spot. Do you need me?
Sugar,
Okay.
Sugar, you okay over there?
That's hilarious. Behind the scenes.
Is she coming? Tomorrow. Okay.
Let's transition back again because I want to get some more happy stories, obscure stories, anything that you like relatable that you just think that this is this interesting story that you think other people might enjoy.
Well, I had that time somebody brought their court papers in for sleeping with a minor, but I don't think we're going to go into that one.
I don't know. That's relatable. I think
No.
that's probably that's an odd one.
I did have someone new come in drunk. Remember? Mm-hmm. She fell through the door, actually.
She did.
Ooh, hair flare.
She's like, I've got an appointment with Tiffany. And I was like, drunk.
Yeah, she was drunk, wasted. I'm not sure she knew she was here. And had never met her, but
She didn't have to do a good job that day. She was going to like it regardless.
she kept yelling my name, like really yelling it.
Right.
Tiffany! Like she knew me, and I was like, hey, have a seat.
That's hilarious.
So midway through the haircut, she kept going on and on about how she wanted her hair to look just like Amanda's. she kept looking at Amanda and pointing to her, and she kept saying, and I cut Amanda's hair, that's what I told her. I said, well, good. I do Amanda's hair most of the time, so I can do that. Just have a seat. Well, she wouldn't sit down. Long story short, we're in the middle of the haircut, and she turns herself around, looks in the mirror, and starts screaming.
That's hilarious.
Like, oh!
You're not cutting it right.
You've not cut it right.
And I'm
I was
over there in the
like-
next chair going like this, and my customer's going. I couldn't do anything but comb, and she was just watching.
And I was like, just calm down. I'm not even done.
No, that's not how you did it all. You're
Well-
like, sit down, I'm not finished.
Well, because she ended up standing up and I was
Right.
trying to do my job, so I got a little irritated with her. And about 45 minutes in, I lost my cool and I said, you need to sit down and let me finish my job. And she did,
And she loved it.
and she loved it. And she's never come back, and I'm so thankful.
That's awesome.
Brooke's still waiting to get paid for one.
Yes, I have a girl that at the other salon I was at, I got done with this beautiful head of highlights, and she goes, my boyfriend's got my money in the car. I'll be right back. I'm like, okay. She didn't find her boyfriend. she didn't come back. I donated that day, but that's happened one
14 years
time.
ago.
Yeah.
One time in 20 years.
Really?
One time.
I was kind of going to follow up on that because there was a couple times here and there that I said, I need to go home and grab my card, or I need to go get a check. I'm out of checks. So, but again, like I said, we've had a relationship for many, many
I
years.
was gonna say, we totally know where to find you.
Yeah, I know, right?
Right, you were Crystal's neighbor. She'll just come steal your wreath.
Oh
Remember?
my gosh,
I
yeah.
was gonna steal that.
I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's just like, how much do you trust somebody?
Not a lot.
You know, and how, to be able to give you some leniency.
Oh, I do. I'm like,
But you know what?
Oh, do you remember the guy that came in and all of you all were so upset with me because I gave him money? He said his wife
I'm
was,
still upset about it.
his
Yeah.
wife was in labor and he didn't have any way to get to the hospital. He needed some gas, and I don't remember.
he was a
there
con artist.
There was a whole lot to his story, but I wanted him to see his baby born. So
She gave him $50
Yeah.
Oh,
of
wow.
our money.
the salon donated to that.
Right.
Right.
We
To his
donate.
scam.
We do. Yeah, I thought it was. I mean, he was on the phone with
Yeah.
the people, the
With
record
the
service,
whoever he
or-
split the $50 with.
and, right, and I felt pretty confident when he left that they were all going to be wrong and I was going to be right, until other businesses locally put out a thing on Facebook that said,
Beware.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
you know,
What is the biggest issue that you guys face in a day to day? I mean, is it the appointments? Is it home, school? Is it the kids, husbands, wives? Is there what is the issue that you have the biggest issue with?
it's balance.
I'd say no shows. It's out of what you just said. I mean,
Right.
just, people not realizing that when you have a color and cut and we mark out 2 hours, that throws our whole day into a tailspin.
She's not saying that specifically towards my 3 clients that rescheduled today for colors.
Rescheduling's different than just not showing up, because at that point, by the time you realize, that you're 2:00 and it's 2:20 and they're not here,
Right.
you
It's
can't
too
really
late.
feel that at that point.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't do anything. But I mean, if you call, we get it. Kids are sick, you're sick. Even if we have a couple hours notice, a lot of times a lady that's on for Thursday really wanted Tuesday, but you didn't have anything.
Right.
Or we can move that last one up so that we're home an extra hour with our kids at night. Like it gives us flexibility if you let us know versus just not coming.
Very, very interesting. So, if somebody wanted to get a hold of you all, schedule new appointments, what is the proper etiquette? Where do they need to go?
We're on Google, Facebook, Instagram. We're pretty much everywhere.
Whatever suits them, I would say.
Yeah.
I allow
They
mine.
can call
Text.
us.
Most of mine text.
Most of our clients that we have already gained relationships with or done before will have our personal cell phone numbers, and we can text and call from there. But if they're new to the salon, they need to reach out to the salon.
So, you just go to your public listed number for business.
502-437-0176.
There you go. Sounds good.
I'm
Well,
glad
but
she
we
knew
also
I was going to
get-
read it off the door.
Oh, thought it was going to be backwards.
I did a client this morning that messaged us through our business page on Facebook.
Social media is a big presence too, and I heard you all talk about that earlier too. Y'all, it seems like it's already starting. People are interested in what we're doing here today. And do you all see that playing a part of what you all do? I mean, it's social media and being able to draw people in.
Yeah.
Tiffany, we did makeup mornings there for a while where we pretty much when we got here and
We went
We got
live
put our
every
makeup
morning.
on. We had so many people watch, and we had so much fun with it. We just we run out of
When
time.
she stopped,
turns out
they're like, "Why aren't y'all going? Why aren't y'all going live? What are y'all doing?" Like people were mad.
People were
Right.
mad when we stopped going
Well,
live.
I had mentioned that too earlier. It's like one of the things that you guys should really think about doing is snippet videos of just, and it doesn't have to be long. And that's the thing too. And the cool thing is like with video editing, you can actually
we're so
you can-
technologically
you-
behind.
holler at me. We can set this stuff up. You can snip it into sections so that you don't see the entire process. You just see, here's what I'm doing, this part, this part, this part. Because, and that's going to be boring to sit there and watch a 2-3 hour session.
Right.
You can make a 2-3 hour session into about a minute 30 or even a minute, depending on how you want to do it. But I didn't know if that was something y'all ever thought about doing. Doing those things, doing a live Q&A maybe on Facebook. That's something else that you could do real easy. I mean, just
I
get a little
always
tripod
think-
like I got there with that camera over there.
Yeah,
and just,
I always think that we always call it coffee time. If we're all
Right.
going to be here early in the mornings together, we call it coffee time. And I always think we need to do a coffee time with the Hair Flair girls live or video or whatever.
We did talk about that. We should do that. We should get back into it.
then you'll know
If it goes as
whose
well as
kids
supper
are
club,
sick, and you'll.
Well, that's true.
I think we should go
Brooke,
complain about our
yes.
lives and drink margaritas and have supper club. But we've not.
That's hilarious.
We have too many children involved in too many sports.
I
We
think
can't ever get
what's
on
going to
the
happen
same
there
day.
is that other people will want to come and do the same thing.
Yes.
'Cause I know
They
my
call
wife
it a
would be
cult.
right.
We'd be starting a cult.
My wife would be right there. Like,
We did talk about it one time doing a BYOB party, bring your own blow dryer, and basically doing tutorials on like with you fixing, not you.
right.
We're gonna round
Well,
brush
I mean,
your
that's
hair.
a great point. So think about this. I don't have hair, but I have tons of nieces. I don't have any daughters myself, but I have a wife. At any point in time later in life, my wife could be invalid. She could be, not able to function the well she was. I mean, people face it. They have Alzheimer's. They have, what is it else they have? They dementia, Parkinson's that will help. That won't. Yeah,
You did. You just
I had to remember the name. So
I was
did
with
that.
you
So
though. I was trying to
was
get there. I knew what you were thinking.
Yeah. In at any point in our lives, things can change. I mean, my sister's a good example of that. From being able to walk in, to a hospital and not be able to walk back out. I mean, she's still alive, but she's paralyzed. But life changes and things happen. But that's a good thing, thinking about doing, especially for dads or even new dads of daughters and things. Figure out
Because
how
mom might be at work.
Mom might be at
Yeah.
work and trying to be able to train them up. That'd be a cool little class, actually. Don't know how many people would take on it, but
Dads and daughters. That would be cute.
so, I mean, they have a daughter, daddy-daughter dances. Why
That's
not,
right. When I have.
the hair part.
Most girls are scared to have their father style their hair, is why that's not gone over so well.
And then there's
but
those videos on YouTube where you see the dad with the vacuum cleaner.
Now that's genius.
It is genius.
Whoever came up with
the
that.
zip tie and the vacuum cleaner, we're all impressed.
Yeah, that was good.
So, one of the things too, before I get out of here, there's a famous video on YouTube
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
that says that hairdressers are one of the worst people in the entire history to date and have a relationship with.
Oh, and if their
That's not what I
hairdresser-
thought you were going to say.
I can beat that one. I've been told hairdressers, redheads, and anybody named Tiffany.
And my brother would agree.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I'm
So,
just psycho,
do you
apparently.
see any truths behind that? I mean, because when you come in and have a there are relationships.
It's like having 4 girlfriends. I mean,
We work late. We work late hours.
We
too.
work
Right.
late. We work early. We run around crazy. We're really good multitaskers.
We're funny as heck.
We are. And we're always right.
We're a good time.
We're always right. It's hard. We're hard to handle.
We've been told, or I know I've been told, how do you call us a job? Y'all are always laughing and having a good time. And, you know, my answer is you chose your profession.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is one of the reasons I picked this. I feel like it is.
I take more offense to somebody saying that that's not a real job than anything else. Because by God, you stand on your feet for 14 hours a day.
And you all have banker's hours. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but I'll call you at 9 when I'm leaving here.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
When you're getting ready for bed.
Right.
We're
We may not be
still working.
here early in the morning. We're taking kids to the but that's because we have to book. You know, we have to be available when our clients are available. The ones that work are the ones that can afford to get their hair done.
Right.
So they're not getting off until 4 or 5, and they need the weekends, and that's why it's a give and take. But you have to be here when they can come.
I understand that. Well, thank you all so much for letting me interrupt y'all. I hope we can do this again.
Yeah. It was fun. Thank you.
This episode of It's Your Break was not a paid advertisement. Follow Jonathan Mertz on Twitter at Jonathan Mertz. That's JONATHANMERTZ. Follow It's Your Break on Twitter at It's Your Break. Subscribe to the It's Your Break podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and the iHeartRadio app. This episode of It's Your Break was hosted, announced, engineered, edited, and produced by Jonathan Mertz. And it was recorded and produced at the Spark of Vision Studios. All sound effects and music were purchased through Sound Ideas, Pro Sound Effects, iStock, and Spark of Vision. It's Your Break is owned and distributed by Spark of Vision. Copyright It's Your Break. All rights reserved.